Yo, people, welcome back to another stream of Two Up Front. I'm your host, Ace, and as always, I'm with my brother, Major. But hey, man, it's been a little bit, Major. How you doing? How you feeling? How's life?
Hey man, you know how it goes, bro. Blessed and highly favored, man. But yeah, bro, it's been a little bit, a lot of
Mm.
football, a lot of
Yeah,
football. So yeah, man, excited to just talk about what's been going on.
yeah, nah, there's definitely a lot for us to get into, but yeah, man, we're gonna fly straight in. But you know what? Before we get into, I guess, the weekend preview, obviously, we're doing the
hmm
stream right after the end of the final round of fixtures for the Champions League. So
hmm
we've seen who's going through the automatic kind of first eight, who's gonna have to play the playoffs. But yeah, bro, I don't know if there was any teams or anything that stood out to you today that you want to quickly touch on before we get into the Premier League, any of the key fixtures. I have like the thing in front of me, I guess, like the list of the
Yeah.
teams. I guess the big results that stand out to me can stop me
hmm
when you want to discuss any. I see Villa beat Celtic 4-2 in the
hmm
end. That one was crazy because I see what Rodgers gets 2 goals in like 5 minutes. Oh yeah, Villa comfortable. Then I see Celtic get 2 goals in 5 minutes. Now it's 2-2. So yeah, I don't
hmm
know whether that game seemed interesting from what I saw. I didn't watch it. I was watching
Yeah.
Arsenal, which we'll get
hmm
into. Then obviously I see Barca drew 2-2 with Atalanta. That was
hmm
interesting. The other big one, Man City's great escape, man. It was looking like
mm Damn,
it
man.
was looking very spooky at half time. I will say that, but yeah, they did what they had to do, came back,
hmm
and then yeah, another interesting one that I guess was a bit not shocking when you saw the lineup was I saw that Liverpool lost 3-2 to PSV, but yeah, their team was
Yeah.
heavily rotated, which we'll talk about when we get to their game this weekend because clearly they have an eye on that big fixture. Like honestly, that
hmm
might be the game of the weekend, but we'll get into all of
hmm
that. But yeah, I don't know if there's any of the fixtures today that you want to touch on before we get into it, bro.
Obviously, Villa's result that was massive, and yeah, obviously going through via the top eight, like I know that would have been their aim ahead of tonight's fixture, and yeah, man, they were able to get the job done, and yeah, that's massive for them. Obviously, they avoid the playoffs as well, so yeah, big win for them. I watched the game; it was a crazy game, bro. Like crazy, yeah, absolutely crazy. So yeah, and yeah, like I think you mentioned obviously Liverpool's result to PSV, but yeah, heavily rotated side. But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see the playoffs. Like, because
Mm,
obviously I think
mm,
this new version of the Champions League, like I think a lot of people obviously they've had an opinion one way or the other. Some people they're like, you know what, I prefer the old format. Some people are like, you know what, I like the new format. And one thing that I've heard from a lot of people who were talking about this new format when they were saying, oh, you know what, look at, I think a lot of people were basically essentially saying, like, look at the amount of teams that can go through. Like,
mm,
people felt like, oh, you know what, City, with how they've done, like, they shouldn't be going through. But I think my thing is one, I think obviously City this season they've not been great. We already know that. We've spoken about it a lot. But I think one, with how the format has been set up, like City have had to play certain games that they wouldn't necessarily have played if it was the old format, probably.
mm,
Like, you know, in an old format, you do get like occasionally like the group of death. But yeah, like I think this format, like it produces fixtures at an early stage, which you
mm,
wouldn't probably see
mm,
until the later rounds. And I think the second thing as well is that when people carry on saying, oh, look, City have gone to the knockouts, I think like people are forgetting that this isn't the round of 16 next. Like, this is a
mm,
whole new element here. Like, yeah, like the
mm.
normally in the
It's
old
true,
Champions
actually.
League
Yeah.
format, yeah, in the old Champions League format, it would have been the groups are over and then you go to the round of 16. Whereas this isn't the round of 16. So they haven't made it to that bit yet. And
Mm.
from what I've seen as well, they're either facing Bayern or Madrid in this playoffs. So it's like, yeah, in these
mm.
playoffs, they're facing Bayern or Madrid. So I think people carry on, like, I'm seeing a lot of rhetoric about it, and I think people carry on missing that bit out. Like, yeah, they're saying the knockouts, and obviously it is the knockouts, but this
Mm.
is like the extra bit. Like, this isn't the round of 16. Like, obviously, Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool, Barca, like, yeah, they're some of the teams that are going directly through to the round of 16 and they don't need to think about the playoffs. But yeah, for all of those teams between 9 and 24, yeah, they're about to go to battle. Do you get me? To get to the round of 16. So obviously, from a club perspective, it's a lot of games, and I think there's definitely probably money reasons behind why they've changed this format. But
of course.
yeah, like I think it's hard to deny that. But yeah, I think when people are saying, "Oh, look, like all of these teams, like the big teams, it gives too much of a scope to get through," which I hear to some regard. Like I think when people are talking about, what can make the format a bit better, like there was different suggestions regarding adapting it and making it a thing where maybe like it's a bit more cutthroat. But I think people are also forgetting that this playoff round, which is the knockouts, isn't actually like our traditional knockouts. It's not the round of 16 yet. This is an extra bit. So yeah, I think like let's see how this plays out.
Yeah,
like,
no. To be fair, I think you definitely preempted one of my questions, because I was actually really interested, because I have seen that rhetoric going around about, how does it affect? Is it maybe giving the big teams a pass? Is it like an unofficial Super League where they can kind of get through without the merit, basically? But yeah, like you said, it is an extra round, and they're gonna have to, like you say, battle their way out now because of how low they finished too. So yeah, and yeah, in the old format too, they were playing. They would have got 3 of the teams that probably didn't even make it through, and then they would have been through to round of 16 anyway. So again, I think it's very easy to just look at this and pick all the holes in it. So I think what will be interesting is, like you said, about the games being played earlier, whether that starts to dilute the big matches, because maybe you've already seen a few of these matches earlier. So are you as excited? So like you said, let's see how it plays out from now to the end, and then at the end of it, we can really assess how it compares to the Champions League that we've kind of grown up with. But interesting. I definitely agree with a lot of the things that you were saying. Yeah, very quickly, I guess. Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah, we went through today. I guess in the top 8, which was a critical. One thing I will say about this format too is that it's very tight. Like the table, like teams were in the top 8. They dropped, they drew, and now they're playing 2 extra games. So it was quite cutthroat from that point of view. So again, I think is what people choose to focus on, because that's a really big distinction between going straight through to the last 16 now and having to play 2 games now to make it through. So so Arsenal, it was essential that we did what we needed to do, and all in all, it wasn't a great game. We're already out, so we just needed to just win, and we did. Like we went a goal behind, came back, and then 1-2-1 in the end. But nothing major to take away. The only major thing to take away that's a bit concerning, which I will use this to kind of transition into obviously the big game this weekend that we're going to be talking about, obviously, which is Arsenal versus Man City. The big concern in this one was I looked at the lineup, I said, Neto's in goal. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I guess Arteta, he had some kindness. He said, have a game. Until I find out later on that, oh no, right, Raya has a problem. I said, what kind of problem? We play Man City this weekend. Please don't let it be a big problem. And what made me even more concerned is if you watch this game and you saw what Neto produced for Girona's first goal, bro. But like we got caught, like what's called offside trap. They break through. This guy's outside his goal and tries to save Danjuma's shot with his hands, bro. It's straight red card if he touches the ball. I'm even happy that he missed and the ball went in, but it was one of those moments from like, this is very concerning. So yeah, I really hope that the Raya situation is nothing major and it's just like a little sign. Let's make sure you're fit for Sunday, because that was a very, very concerning sight that Neto kind of produced. When a player gives you a little snippet of, oh, you don't know what to expect from me. This is what I have in store. So yeah, it was very concerning. I will say that. That was one of the big takeaways in this game. But I know my boy Nwaneri, man, my 17-year-old wonder kid. I don't know if you saw his goal. Beautiful.
No,
beautiful. When you see it, beautiful finish, man. Like he's got that left foot, beats a couple defenders, curls it into the other post. I said, that's my guy. 17 years old. I think he equals, it's Fabregas, and I've got the other player in terms of like his age and the number of starts in the Champions League. So fair play to him, man. Like he's doing very well in that right wing. Definitely making me think, if we can continue in this vein, which, you know what, before we even really get into the City game, I was thinking this is also, I guess, we're getting to the end of the January transfer window. I just wanted to run a little bit to you about my team, man. Like Arsenal, we are so unserious. It's actually ridiculous, bro. It's so ridiculous.
Talk to me.
It's so
There's
ridiculous.
a lot of stuff I'm seeing,
bro. Like, you know what it is, obviously today, breaking news: Arsenal are trying to put 60 million in for Watkins. Before we even address Watkins and like whether I want Watkins or not, it's this thing that we do, yeah. And I remember when the transfer that really pissed me off with Arsenal, I remember back in the day, was the Suarez deal. Because I feel like
What was
sometimes,
it?
yeah,
40
bro,
million and
40
1
million
pound.
and £1.
Was it 1 pound?
Bro, 40 million and £1. I said, come on, man. You knew that deal was that. Sometimes I feel like they play with the fan base in terms of like you're making like offers that you know the other team is not going to accept because it's so stupid what you're trying to do here. So I feel like they think the fans are stupid, and I think some people have clocked onto it. And why I kind of bring that up is we have that one. We then, I think a couple seasons ago, we had the Douglas Luiz. Couple of days before the end of the window. Oh yeah, we want to buy you. We've had the whole window to try to sort this out, but no, 2 days before it closes, this is when we've decided that this is when we need to get this deal. The selling club is like, we're not going to sell this player with like this amount of time. Like, what are you trying to do here? I think they're trying to do this smart negotiating. Oh, last minute, take it or leave, and they're like, okay, we'll leave you. We don't need your money. So we did it with Douglas Luiz, and now with the Watkins thing, we had the whole window that we've known that we wanted Watkins. Like, I remember I was critical of Spurs when they did it last summer with Solanke. I hate when clubs do this. We've played so many games this season that if you really wanted Solanke, from the start of the window, you have to be trying to get him in. What could I have done to our earlier games? But no, to try to save some money and maybe try to be smart with the transferring. They leave it to a couple of days. They then drag it out until the end, and then look, Villa said no. We wanted a striker that we know we needed. We know we needed an attacker. What can we do, guys? Look, fan base, you can see that we try. You saw the deal. You saw the 60 million get rejected. You did see it, right? And that's what they're doing to us right now, bro, because it's so jarring. Even before the Jesus and Saka injury, we've said that we've needed attackers. And the fact that we've now left it now to now trying to desperately do 60 million final offer for Watkins. And again, that's before I even get into Watkins himself. It's just so unserious, man. Like, I'll give City credit. They've had a horrible season, but one thing they said this window, they were sharp with their business. They moved like a proper club. And Arsenal, it's one step forward and one step back. So yeah, man, I just wanted to run on that a little bit. And yeah, and then my quick thoughts on Watkins. Yeah, man. Again, it's just them ones where it's like, it's just not very exciting. Like, it's like the age, the money, like 60 mil, 29-year-old. I get it. Villa are not going to sell him for less, but it's like, there's options out there. So I'm not moved by it. Like, there's them moves where it's like, I'm not moved by it. Like, I can see the logic, because I guess the logic is he should be ready to come into the team right now. It's not a young player that needs to adapt. Maybe that's like what they're thinking, but it's just not a very exciting transfer. But I don't know from the outside what your kind of initial reaction on the news was. But for me as an Arsenal fan, it's like, if it happens, cool, give him a chance. I hope it works out. But I'm not like, this is a very exciting transfer. Like, because it just feels very lazy. I don't know. Like, it feels like everyone that we've been linked to, and it's like, we get him now. Is that now our striker for the next 3-4 years? Like, is that what the plan is? It's just very, not very encouraging, is what I'd say. But yeah, what's your thoughts, guy? I guess I know I call you a closet Villa fan, so you can give me some insight into Watkins. Let me know what to expect from him.
Ask you. So, what would you consider an exciting signing? I mean, an exciting signing. Rah, tongue twister.
It's so good.
But
An
yeah,
exciting signing.
yeah. What would you consider an exciting signing? Rah, gosh,
it's all good, bro. It's been a long day. But what's it called? Yeah, like obviously, yeah, we're linked to like the Gyökeres type signing. I don't know much. Sesko's still young, but Sesko's there. There's what's it called? Like I can't say his name, but the French guy, Etikite or something like that. I can't say his name properly, but you know what I'm thinking of. He looks very promising as well, exciting striker. So again, it's like those are the kind of, obviously we're never going to get him. But
so would you prefer all of those options?
I think I would, because of the price that Watkins is going to cost us. So now the 60 million has been rejected. It's like he's already 29. That's what you have to pay for a Premier League striker. I get it from Villa's point of view. But from ours, it's like, if you're willing to go that high for a player, then it makes sense to go for a younger player, in my opinion. I think that's like my kind of thing, where it's like, what he needs to come in and basically be the final kind of piece as the striker to win us this league now, is what we're saying. Investing that kind of money into a player of his age at this point of his career. So that's why I say overall it's just not exciting. Like, it's like, I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a bad player at all, but it's just like maybe it's that thing that happens with sports where it's like, I've seen you, I know where you are. It's kind of seems like Solanke last year. I'm sure how Spurs fans felt. It's like, I've seen you, not saying you're not a good player, but because I've seen you, there's no excitement in what you could be. for us, if that makes any sense. It's just like, yeah, like you're a good Premier League striker, but it's nothing. And you're not gonna get much better than where you currently are right now, kind of thing. It's how I kind of see overall. So it's just not very exciting, and it's just unserious. And this is how we're trying to go about the business of trying to get Villa's main striker like a week before the window closes, like, or a couple of days before the window closes. It's just unserious because we know it's not going to happen. So it's like I already checked out knowing that this deal is not going to happen unless we go up to like a 70, 75, and then it becomes even more stupid, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, I just wanted to run on that a little bit before we kind of get into it. I don't know if you what your kind of initial raw thoughts were.
I think it's one of them ones where obviously we know that Arsenal definitely need attacking reinforcements. Like, I think that's extremely clear. And yeah, we've been speaking about the need for a striker, like even amongst other additions as well, like not even just a striker. And I think my thing, is very interesting, obviously, because like when it's not your club, like it's interesting to see what the thoughts are from like the club involved and what the fans think. And I've been looking at a lot of the reaction and it's so split. Like it's so split. Like I was seeing some people, they were saying, you know what, like I don't know what Arsenal fans want, like as regards to, and I think this is more specific. I think most Arsenal fans are on the same page as regards to the timing and like, yeah, leaving it this late and etc. But I'm just specifically talking about the profile of player, or the specific player rather, in this case Watkins. And yeah, some Arsenal fans are like, nah man, like what you're saying is uninspiring. Nah, like, do you get me? We should have went for this player, we should have went for that player. And obviously other Arsenal fans are saying, like, I don't know what you guys want. Like, you're saying that we need like the final pieces, and there's a Premier League proven striker who scored 19 goals and got 13 assists last season for Villa. And yeah, we believe we're a better team than Villa. So why is that not a good signing? And yeah, I think seeing the discourse amongst both Arsenal fans, I mean, both sides of Arsenal fans, I think is interesting. I think it's one of them ones where, like, I know ideally, for example, it would be great if you can get Isak, but that's just, you get me? The funds involved is going to be difficult to get that done. But then I think I'm looking at like strikers and I'm looking at like, okay, so what fits the bill for Arsenal fans? Like, it's just a genuine curiosity, because I think I've seen certain people not be happy with Osimhen because they're like, nah, like, I don't think that's it. Gyökeres, do you get me? Obviously, my manager knows a lot about him, but then again, people have said Portuguese league, do you get me? Like, etc. Like, by the time he comes to the Premier League, there's no guarantee that he'll hear it off straight away, and we need someone that can hear it off straight away, get it done now. Sesko, people are saying, unproven, young, raw, still got a lot of developing to do. So I've seen like a lot of, the only striker where I've seen kind of like there be a consensus amongst Arsenal fans where they're like, you know what, if we get him now, everyone's happy, we're great, is Isak. But apart from that, I think it's all been like debates. Like, do you get me? Yeah, like it's just been debates. Some people are saying nah, because it's like some people look at it and say, yeah, I would rather go for a Watkins over a Sesko. Like, do you get me? Because Sesko, he looks like he's got great potential, but then there's too many unknowns and we don't know how long it will take to adjust. And also it might not be fair to put all of that pressure on him. Like, do you get me? Because Arsenal right now, we're trying to win within the next 2 seasons. We want this league. And then people looking at Watkins and they're saying, yeah, like you said, nah, I hear that he scored goals in the Prem, but nah, man, like, do you get me? It's just not what we really want. So I think it's just one of them ones where I don't think, from the outside looking in, I don't think there's gonna be a consensus unless you were able to get like an Isak. I think there's gonna be kind of gives and takes regardless of who you got in. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah, I think it's just one of them ones where it's like, I think it's, and I think this is kind of like what happens when, yeah, you know what, you've left things late and pressure has been built up, because now people are like, hey man, we don't have time to waste. And I think whoever you get in that number 9 position, there's going to be so much pressure on them, because the way it's been built still up.
Yeah,
It's like you're the person that's supposed to take us over the line.
bro.
Like, do you get me? So it's
Bro,
like I feel like
Watkins, I need a goal first game, bro. If you don't score
yeah,
that first game,
you get me?
get out of here.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's one of the ones where it's like if you get Gyökeres, then people will be looking at it saying Osimhen was right there,
No, it's true.
Watkins was right there.
It's true.
Do you
It's true.
get me? If you get Watkins and then it doesn't work out, Osimhen was right there. Gyökeres was right there. If you get Osimhen, they are like Gyökeres was like. I feel like it's one of them ones where it's just
bro, you
like,
know what it is, yeah? The only way
yeah.
that there won't be discourse is if the guy just is successful. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That's the
No,
only
and
thing that can stop any, because it's true. Any player
that's
that we
exactly
get
what it
that
is.
isn't the guy, there's going to be the people that said you should have got someone else.
I literally think the only player literally amongst like the people that have been amongst the targets that have been discussed where everyone would be like cool is Isak.
Yeah.
Like, do you get me? He's the only one where everyone will be like, "Alright, cool, we're all on board." Like, do you get me? Everyone's happy.
He can not score for the first 10 games.
Yeah.
We'll give him time. We'll give him time.
I feel like everyone would be happy, but I feel like with everyone else, there's an element of I don't know. Like, do you get me? I don't know. So I think it's one of them ones. Like, do you get me? Like, I think there's gonna be an element of risk to it. Regardless, I think, like,
and that's also why ultimately, like, you know me, the type of fan I am too is that I'm not excited about Watkins, but he's gonna come. I'm gonna hope he does the best. I also think some people also go the other way where it's like, oh, it's not working, so now they're on him, and now he's not as good as I'm gonna still say cool. Prove me wrong. I wasn't as excited. Now prove me wrong. But now if you do what I think you're gonna do, then I say, man, well, on Serious Club, and I was right. So we'll see, man. I right now I don't think it's actually gonna happen. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think with this late, like I don't think Villa are letting him go like this late. No, because also like Duran's being linked with moves. Like, do you get me, to Saudi? Like,
don't make sense.
Like, I can't see Watkins going now. Like, they've literally just got through to the last 16 of the Champions League.
Bro,
like,
we're a cheeky club, man.
Season. Yeah,
we're a cheeky club, man. I don't blame Villa for being pissed because we're a cheeky club. We were trying to move with this, like. But speaking about transfers, man, getting into this big fixture this weekend, because obviously I don't think we didn't catch up after the City Chelsea game, man. But this Mamush guy, I said, I said this is a real problem. This is a real problem. And you know what? City, they've done their business. You know, I guess their centre back was looking shaky. Kuzanov, I can't say his name probably. He had the pressure was a big game to throw him into. So we didn't really catch up on that. But I guess kind of based on obviously that performance against Chelsea, which I understand there's a lot of discourse off the back of it, or how good was City, how bad was Chelsea, you know, Arsenal, the Lewis Skelly red card, holding out with 10 men to still get the win. Going into this like weekend's fixture, like what's your head saying in terms of how you see it going? Because I don't know what to think, man. So give me your initial thoughts and we'll chop it up.
Obviously City, they've done well obviously with the win tonight, and then obviously getting the win over Chelsea, that was big, because they definitely don't want to be falling outside of the top four, and so big win for them. However, they still look leaky to me, man. Like, I think there was definitely moments in that game where Chelsea, like, they could have punished them, and I think like City they've still got problems. Like, City have definitely still got problems. I think some of the signings they've made, like liking to look at them, and we know that City's recruitment, like overall, like they do make right decisions, but I am looking at it and I'm thinking, it's gonna take a little bit longer for everything to be all good with City again. They're definitely still vulnerable. With Arsenal, I think obviously there's so much that has been said regarding the red card decision, so I'll quickly just address that. It was a joke of a decision. It's as yellow of a yellow card that you'll ever see.
Major. Like, but I switched it off, bro. I say no, I can't. I'm done,
bro. It's done, bro. It's as yellow as a yellow card that you'll ever see. Like, it's your typical yellow card. The fact that
you know what is it? You know we have to get onto a little bit as well, though, because I was having a conversation with someone that even these like the pundits and stuff that last year, I hate when these old people don't realize the distinction between where you blame technology and you blame the people. The fact that we've now allowed them to gaslight us into this VAR is the problem thing so much that people forgot why VAR came in the first place, to now reversing the power completely back into the hands of the referees, where VAR is literally just there to just understand, there for decoration. Maybe if they don't rate the referee on the day, they might say, brother, go look at the screen. But it looks like these, I don't know how you can see that back. You can all be in agreement and just say, yeah, man, red card changes the game, could ruin Arsenal, end Arsenal season right here. Yeah, man, that's fine. Correct decision. Because I think I like the fact that there's been so much discourse about it, even though we won. Because it would be so easy now for that game to have gone the other way. We now lose, and now that's like, oh, maybe we're just bitter because we lost. Like, no, like it was a terrible decision. But sorry, bro, continue. Like, it was ridiculous. But the fact that VAR looked at it as well, and they still just agreed with him. I said, yeah, man, you guys are they've ruined it now already, in my opinion. But yeah, sorry, bro, continue.
Yeah, no, it was a really bad decision. I
Like,
think again, like it's a typical yellow card. Like
like,
you see that type of like challenge all the time, bro. That's like a Rodri special. Like, do you get
bro,
me? Yeah, like it's just
that's his bread
it's a
and
yellow
butter.
card, bro. Like it's a yellow
Yeah.
card. And I know some people are like trying to get screenshots and over analyze it and say, like, you know what, the foot was a bit high and this. With me, I'm not hearing it, man. It's yellow card. You know what it is? It's one of them ones where the ref brings out a yellow and we don't ever talk about this.
Yeah.
Like, you get me? Like,
Yeah.
it's not people aren't revolting saying that was a red card. Like,
I actually could not
we
believe
don't
it.
ever talk about this, bro.
I
Like,
could not
literally,
believe it.
he brings out a yellow and we get on with the game. Like, it's one of them ones where it's just like you get on with the game. You know, it's one of them yellow cards that you do it and then you start jogging away. Do you get me? Because you know what's coming. Like, you're just praying they can allow you. Do you get me? And then you see the yellow card and you're like, man, do you get me? So yeah, man, I think it's just one of them ones where it's like, yeah, like it was just a yellow card. And then I think the fact that they didn't say at least go and have another look at it, like with me, it should just be like yeah, man, nah, it's a yellow card. But the fact that they didn't say go and have another look at it, and yeah, they didn't. Michael Oliver didn't take the time out to go and look at it and reverse the decision. I think that made it even worse.
Yeah.
And there's just been so many, and I think this is what I'll say regarding like a lot of this discourse. I think it's important discourse. And I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, you know what? There's multiple problems here. I think so. Firstly, we know that tribalism is a thing in football. People are going to support their teams. They're going to back their teams. They're going to be very passionate when it comes to decisions involved with their teams. And yeah, with me, I'm a Man United fan. I don't like Arsenal. I looked at it. I said, this is ridiculous. Do you get me? It's a yellow card. It's never a red card. Do you get me? And I think objectively, you should be able to do that. And I think sometimes, yeah, like tribalism, like when I'm seeing people reaching saying, I'm thinking if this was against your team, you would be fuming. I think on the other side, though, tribalism also works in a way where I think what kind of reinforces people to just say, you know what, I'm only backing my team or whatever the case may be, is that I think sometimes I've seen like certain Arsenal fans take it a little bit too far. Like when you are making it a thing where it's just like, oh, you know what? Nobody else suffers these injustices. It's just Arsenal that suffer these injustices. It's only us. There is a conspiracy to stop us from winning the league. I think that's where other fans, that's what reinforces tribalism. That's what reinforces tribalism, because the other fans will be like, wait, Liverpool fans will look at it and they'll be like, wait, wasn't it last season where Luis Diaz scored a perfectly onside goal and VAR literally said that it was an onside goal and they messed up, and a perfectly legitimate goal? This isn't a thing about, oh, you know what, I think they drew the lines at the wrong place or whatever. This was like, no, it was a complete mess up. VAR said we messed up, but they messed it up, the communication, whatever, boom. The same Michael Oliver, I remember Anfield last season, Dallo, he got the red card, ridiculous red card. Like, do you get me? When we drew at Anfield, absolutely ridiculous. Like, boom. Even I think Michael Oliver was on the VAR when we lost to West Ham you know,
Oh, that the
when we conceded a
squad.
penalty.
Nah,
Yeah, when we conceded a penalty. Yeah, the one which got Ten Hag the sack.
bro, is he
Do you
not
get
meant
me?
to
It
be
was
our
Michael Oliver.
best referee in the country? What's
Yeah,
going on,
it
man?
was it
The
was
number.
Michael.
What?
It was
I
Michael.
didn't know
It
he
was
was
Michael.
on the.
Yeah, bro,
If
he
he
was the
was,
one
that's
because
crazy.
the ref didn't give it, bro. The ref didn't. So that
Nah.
was even one of them ones where the ref didn't give the pen. VAR literally they intervened and said, "Nah, man, nah, man."
That
you,
is wild. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
you've
crazy.
missed something. Like, do you get me?
Yeah.
And then obviously, like we spoke about Wolves and Gary O'Neill, the amount of decisions that didn't go their way. And I'm sure a lot of the teams lower in the table, they also have a bunch of decisions where they're like, oh, you know what? This hasn't gone our way. There's bias towards the bigger clubs. And I think it's one of them ones where overall, the quality of refereeing is poor. And I think how this situation needs to be tackled is that fans need to just put their not fully, we're tribal, we're gonna back our teams. Of course, naturally, you're gonna care more about decisions involving your team than others. But I think there needs to be like a certain like
Us
yeah,
versus them.
like yeah, and then also you just need to be genuine. Like, do you get me? Like, you could still hate. I can hate Arsenal and say that wasn't a red card. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah, like, bro, it doesn't stop. It doesn't change the fact that I still hate Arsenal. Like, do you get me? But it's like it's one of them ones where I think sometimes what happens is that you have one section of fans who are opposition fans where they'll be like, nah, man, that was a red card. Can't you see how high the foot was?
Hey, man.
Oh man, this is whatever.
He scraped down his ankle.
Yeah, do you get me? And then you'll see Arsenal fans saying, nah, man, like it's only us that ever have these, and it's just, and I think that's what just helps everyone say, you know what, I'm just gonna back my team, and like, do you get me? I'm gonna be as disingenuous as possible. It's like, what, red coffee? I didn't see it. Look like a great. What do you mean? That looked like a horrible tackle to me. Like, do you get me? So I think it's just one of them ones, because I was just sitting back observing and I was seeing a lot of the discourse, and I was just like, nah, this is actually, it's crazy how, like, yeah, I'm seeing some rival fans, like, they're just lying. Like, do you get me? But then also, I'm looking at some Arsenal fans and I'm like, you know what? I'm understanding why everyone's getting very tribal. Because when multiple people, like when people have, because you know how you're speaking about in the middle of the title race and whatever the case may be. And it's just like, fam, I hate Liverpool. But Liverpool, like I said, they literally were disallowed. Like, do you get me? A perfectly legitimate goal whilst they were in the title race. Like, so, and then again, I spoke about the United decisions, and there's loads of decisions like throughout the league. So I think it gets irritating when one fan base tries to make it seem as if, you know what, it's only us. There's a massive conspiracy. And you know what it is? I'm not even saying that given in a season, one club might not have like worse decisions than others, or one club might not have more favorable decisions than others. Like, of course it can happen, but then I think what happens is that when fans start doing things like, well, I look at this decision, this decision, this decision, this decision, we should have an extra 10 points. Then now other fans will say, okay, well, I'm looking at this decision, this decision, this decision, this decision. We should have an extra 10 points. And the other club will say, well, actually, when I look at this decision, hold up. And then, do you get me? And then, obviously, Liverpool fans are arguing with United fans who are arguing with, like, Chelsea fans who are arguing with City fans who are arguing with just, do you get me? Spurs fans, whatever. And then you've got Ipswich fans and Southampton fans where they're saying, bruv, you lot are all spoiled. Like, do you get me? We never get anything. Like, do you get me? So it's just, I think it's just one of them ones where it's just like, yeah, that there needs to just, I'm all for the banter, I'm all for the tribalism, but sometimes just call a spade a spade. Like, do you get me? Just call a spade a spade. I think that's my thing regarding that. Now, moving on to the performance, I think having that happen and Arsenal standing up in the way they stood up, I think that's what a serious team does. Like, do you get me? You don't allow it to overly rattle you. Like, it's happened right now. Like, it's happened. You've still got a game to play. And I think, yeah, the way you were able to kind of like galvanize yourselves and pick yourselves up and still get the win. And yeah, it was a really, really good finish by Calafiori. And I think, yeah, that's going to do a lot of wonders, I think, for your confidence. And being able to remain resolute, I think, yeah, like that's obviously a very good sign. So going into this game, I'm not gonna lie. I think if Arsenal had like Saka, then I'm saying, yeah, this is like I just can't see. I can't see you're too leaky. Like, do you get me? For without Saka, I think your attack obviously suffers much more. Do you get me? And City obviously do still have quality attackers. Like, obviously, yeah, we've spoken about Mamouche there. Like over recent weeks, like Savinho, I know he had a bit of a rough start, but he started to pick it up. Then obviously Foden, likewise. Like, so there's quality there for City to hurt you, but they just look so sus to me.
Yeah,
Defensively,
you know what it
they
is.
look
Yeah,
so sus,
it's
bro.
that
Like,
midfield.
so
It's
sus.
that
Yeah, man.
midfield.
Bro,
That
they're
midfield
so easy to
is it's
bypass.
the midfield,
They're
man.
so easy
They
to
have no
bypass.
legs. They
Yeah,
have no legs, man.
and I think the thing is that I think Arsenal, whilst again, like in your attack is suffering, like, and you definitely need like a higher level of quality there, and that's why it would have been great from an Arsenal fan perspective if you are able to get some additions in the January transfer window. But I think Arsenal are still capable of being like quite compact and difficult to break down. And I'm just looking at City and I'm thinking, yeah, man, you guys just look so sus. But from now, honestly, man, they look so sus. But I think they've still got star quality.
Yeah, they
Like,
do.
you get, and they've still got people that can make things happen. And I think Arsenal currently are lacking that a little bit. So it's one of them ones where it makes for a very interesting contest. And then
Yeah.
when you're looking at obviously the last encounter, the be humble,
Hey, listen, bro.
etc.
We all
You
City,
get me?
man.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh.
okay, you know what? There's a bit of oomph to it. Like, it makes for a very interesting game. So yeah, man, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's been set up nicely. It's been set up nicely. But yeah, even though, don't get me wrong, City did well to beat Chelsea, but I definitely think, and we'll speak about Chelsea a little bit later, but I think Chelsea, like, they're also like they City met them at a place where like they're rocking a little bit. Like, do you get me? And I think City were definitely like vulnerable. They were 100% vulnerable. And even, a lot of people analyze that chance where, Palmer goes through and then he squares it for Jackson. And
Yeah.
obviously people said, you know what, the pass should have been better, which I think, yeah, someone of Palmer's capabilities, the pass should have been better. But I also looked at Jackson and said, you know what, I still
Yeah.
feel like you could have
You
done
should
better in that situation.
100%.
Yeah, like you still could
100.
have done better in that
We'll talk
situation.
about
You get me?
them.
Yeah, I feel like you could have done better in that situation. And I think in that point of the game, if I remember correctly, that would have been 2-0.
Yeah, it
So
would have been.
yeah, and then it makes the game look very different. So yeah, man, I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be going into it thinking, you know what, I'm worried about a lack of like just attacking firepower. But given the context of the league and given how important the game is and given how vulnerable City are, I'd be looking at him thinking, you know what, like we can do this. That's what I would be thinking. And so
Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, no, no. Overall, like I definitely agree with like I love what you said, and I guess from an Arsenal's fans' point of view, yeah, I am confident from like I guess our defense. Hopefully, if Rya's playing, if he's not, that's gonna be a big problem. But yeah, hopefully he's playing. Our defense, the midfield, I think we can definitely dominate.
Very quickly, bro. I remember
Yeah.
when like Allison got injured and like everyone was talking about Kelleher as a great back.
Oh, bro,
And I
you see
know
the discourse today.
a lot of people were talking up Neto dead times. What's happened, bro?
Oh, were they?
Like, yeah, bro. I see a lot of people saying, no, Arsenal got a very good backup keeper
Oh, I
as
don't
well. I
remember
was just
this.
like, yeah,
I
oh
don't
no, I
remember
remember
this.
it, bro. I
Okay,
remember,
yeah,
you know
you
what it
can.
is?
Yeah, I don't remember this. I definitely didn't say that.
Bro,
So yeah,
I was about to say,
yeah.
you know what, the defo, bro. I don't know if you should add the defo because I don't want to misquote you because I don't want to do you wrong. But I'm having fragments of memory telling me that you
I
bigged
I
him
feel
up,
like you
bro.
have the wrong guy.
Bro,
I think you have
bro,
the wrong guy
hey,
because you
bro,
know what it is. Should I say how I know you have
bro.
the wrong guy? It's
Go
because
on.
I think it's a decent acquisition in terms of we've gone and got another Premier League goalkeeper, but I have no opinions on him as a goalkeeper because I barely watched him play. That's how I know I haven't like gassed him as like a good second. He's barely played for us this season as well. This is like this is his first game. that he's actually started in since he came
Yeah.
in. So yeah. So you can go do the research if you need to, bro. But yeah, I can say Defo because I don't know much
Okay,
about
bro.
him. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know
bro.
much about him. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't have guessed him up. But yeah, man. But yeah, what he showed me today, yeah, man, it's concerning stuff. But yes, I think yeah, from that point of view, I'm more confident than it's like you said, it's our attack, man. That's the concern. It's like City or leaky, are we gonna finish our chances? Because we go through phases where we make chances, we don't finish them, or we're not creative enough and we don't score. So what Arsenal we're gonna get, I don't know. City, the threat and the fear, like you said, is their attack. Is that they still have so much quality, and I'm not as confident in our defense. So this season, like it's been better recently, I would say, but yeah. But Timber needs to go right back. Partey, that guy can be nowhere near that right back position. Like he came off for half-time today. I don't know if he's even fit, but yeah. Again today, he got done for Girona's first goal. So yeah, Timber needs to go in for any hope in this game. But so I think defensively it's okay. But yeah, City's attack is a big concern. But I do think that's why, like, I guess kind of even when I think of my prediction for this game, if I'm being honest in terms of what I genuinely think, I actually see this as like a 2-2. Because I think City have enough of a threat that they can get their goals. And I think because of the importance, we will score. But then I think for us to win is why I say I think it needs to be like we win like a 3-2. If that makes sense. That's like my logic. And do I see my attack really being able to do that? It's shaky. So that's kind of like my thing where I have like if I'm being logical in terms of if I actually like analyze this game, I think of both teams' strengths and weaknesses. I see what I've seen from Arsenal, what I've seen from City. I say, yeah, this is a 2-2 game in my opinion. But then I look at what it means for our season that we cannot afford that to happen. Is why I have to say, oh, okay, hopefully we get a 3-2, we get a 3-2 win. But that's hope, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I think that's kind of like my kind of take on this game. Where that's the concern is that I more see it as like we'll probably draw than we'll lose. But it's like a draw is not good enough. So that's the concern. I think it's my kind of as an Arsenal fan, me being apprehensive about this game. If that makes sense. Because yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I think City too, because of their leakiness, I also don't think they'll beat us. But they have enough of a threat that they can get their goals. And are we clinical enough to punish them enough to basically make up for any goals that they managed to get through like Haaland, Foden, Mamouche? And they have a lot of players there. You understand? We've conceded to lesser players. Then we've even the chances we've conceded recently is just like that's also a big concern for me. That even like as much as the Wolves game was great, yeah, we stuck in. And again, all the credit has to go to the team for sticking in. But there was still some chances in that game that I'm like, the Arsenal that was solid, we're not even giving up these chances. And like, even before the 10 men, like, it's like, I think very early in that game, too, Wolves could have gone ahead. They had a really good chance. I can't remember who it fell to, like a volley, like a few minutes into the game. I was like, it's like we're still not solid, if that makes sense as well, as much as we're definitely more solid than City. So, yeah, all of that said, I think, yeah, like you also kind of alluded to, yeah, we owe City as well, man. Like, we need this win, even just for all the rubbish that they were doing when we were at their stadium, for the whole be humble and all that kind of stuff. I need to see Saliba and Gabriel chest bumping in front of that Haaland guy's face for me to feel happy this weekend. But yeah, it's definitely concerning just because we just cannot afford to drop points in this one. And City are still a very dangerous team, as shaky and understand as they've looked. It's them ones where it's like maybe if you're playing anyone else, I'll be like, yeah, I see City jogging. You know, when they're playing your team, like, oh, I see all their threats. That's how I'm kind of like seeing it. But yeah, so I guess kind of giving my prediction now. I'll let you give yours, bro. That we can talk about the other games. So I'm gonna go 3-2 Arsenal. Like I said, I think it's definitely hopium just because I think we need to get at least 3 goals. I think to kind of still get the win in this game. I don't really. It could be like I think a 2-1-2 is a respectable one. I think City also look like very strong going forward as well. Like even recently, as bad as they've been, they've scored a lot of goals. So I think balancing all of that in my mind and thinking of what we need to do if we're able to at least rise to the occasion and get the win and get over the line in this game, I think it's gonna have to be like a 3-2 from us. So yeah, what do you think, bro? What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go for 2-1.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very fair result. So we'll lock that in. Update for everyone. We're gonna get back to our predictions this week. So I guess ahead of the next stream, we can have that updated table capturing the points from this one, and then yeah, we'll kind of, I guess, give everyone like an update on what we're doing in terms of the different competitions for this season. But today, kind of flying through, continuing on the journey to the other big games this weekend because there's quite a few games to talk about. The next team that I think we have to go to, man, we have to go to the other top front team, man. Because, yeah, I was watching that Fulham Man United game and I said, this is one of the worst games I've watched in a long time. It was a terrible game of football. Like, and again, I don't know if you want to touch on, I think you guys, I think it's a done deal with the left back that you've got, Dogus. I don't know if you want to say anything about that. I see there's something Cuckoo, Garnacho swap. We haven't really spoken about that at all. But yeah, man, I guess all of that in mind, United's kind of transfer business and I guess your thoughts on this Palace game this weekend. What are your thoughts on those, bro?
Really quickly, I think, Fulham game. Not a great game. It was one of them ones you got out there with 3 points. I think Amorim said like he's very honest in it. Like I think afterwards I saw quotes from him, and he said, obviously wins are important. But in the future we don't want to play like this. But do you get me? It's one of them ones. I actually thought Man United will lose, so it was a welcome surprise that we actually got the win. But because I was thinking, Craven Cottage, very hard place to go. So I was happy we got the win, but not a great game, not a great performance. I think transfer wise, I think I've spoken about it. I think other people have spoken about it. I think, we definitely need wing backs. I'm not gonna lie and act like I know loads about Dorgu because I don't. Like obviously he's a young player, 20 years old. From what I've like read and from like what a lot of people have said, I think he looks like a very promising talent. But like I don't know an extensive amount about him. But obviously I'm hoping that Man United have done their research and obviously Amorim has looked at it and said, you know what, this is someone that can come into my system and help improve things. But obviously he is young. He is coming to a new league. But we definitely needed wing backs. So I think that was very important. So the fact that it looks like, we've got one, like that's good. Like, it's good because we definitely, I think it's so important for how Amorim's trying to play and the system. And I spoke about often like Dallo, Maz. I think Maz again. I think in this system he's a right centre back. He's not a wing back. So I think we lose a lot of attacking threat when Maz plays as a wing back. I think Dallo as well. He's like we need someone again who's more of a specialist in the role who can allow us to have much more attacking threat, like where we can be much more dynamic. So we definitely needed wing backs. I'm happy that we've got one, but I don't know loads about him. So like I can't sit here and say yes, everything. You guys are about to see. You're about to see. Like, do you get me? Because I'm gonna be learning as well. Like, do you get me? Like, So, obviously, I saw a lot of the stuff with Garnacho, like the links with Napoli, the links with Chelsea. From what it's looking like now, it's not looking like anything's gonna happen, at least in the January transfer window. Obviously, I think today there was links with Tell. Now he's someone that I know more about, and that's something where I'm like,
okay, cool.
I can get behind a nice loan. Like, do you get me? If we can get that done, like that's like that's someone where I'm looking at. I'm like, like I think literally Bayern have got Kane, and he's just not been able to get minutes like that. Like, do you get me? But man, 19 bags of potential, and from what I've seen and the things from what I've seen and the things that he's shown, then like he's someone that I look at and I'm like, like I like the look of that if we're able. But I think from what I've seen, again, loads of clubs are trying to speak to him. I think with Bayern, I don't know if Bayern have even necessarily sanctioned the loan, like so he might not even go anywhere. I think from his side, like it was reported that like he did want to come to United, like that would be his preference. I think like amongst obviously Manchester United being Manchester United, I think it could also just be a thing where he's looking at it and thinking, you know what, I've got a chance of playing. Like, do you get me? Because they're not very good right now. So, so do you get me? Like, I could get play time. Whereas he might look at other options and think, yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna play if I go there. So, yeah, but again, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it's dependent on outgoings from a lot of reports. I don't know what's happening with Rashford, with the loan deals. I don't know if he's going to like survive during the January transfer window. Like, I don't know if he'll remain with
I see
us. I don't
Casemiro
know.
as well.
He's
Him
gonna
not
go,
going.
roll my links with Casemiro. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Like, yeah. So I think, yeah, like I'm not sure. I think January for us, it's very like we did need a wing back, but I think it's gonna be much more the summer where much more movement occurs. Like, I think right now, like, I don't know how much is going to happen. But again, I'm happy that we've got a win back. Again, looks like he's got a lot of potential from what people have said and like little clips that I've seen. It looks good. But again, like, there's only so much you can read into clips. Like, do you get me? So, yeah. Like, do you get it? Like, again, I'm not gonna lie and say, yeah, man, bro. Do you get me? I watch a lot of football, and I think like I've got a lot of football knowledge. But yeah, I'm not just gonna lie and say I'm an expert on a player that I've not really watched. Like, I don't know that much about this guy. Like, do you get me? I'm just hoping it's a good signing. I'm happy we've got a wing back. So yeah, man. Obviously, I'll be supporting Dorgu, but I don't really know that much. Do you get me?
Okay.
But I'm happy that we got a win back, and obviously I'm hoping that like he's a great player for us. But obviously he's gonna need time. Like I said, 20 years old, he's young, man. So
no. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts to the Premier League. So yeah, no, I don't know anything about him. So that's why I wanted to see what you've kind of seen. I guess just post it being, I guess, finalized that he's coming. Is it like a done deal? I don't know. Okay,
Romano gave the here we
Here
go.
we go.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So just waiting for him to hold up the shirt, basically. But no, that'll be interesting. So like you said, man, I think Amorim, you guys desperately need a left back or left-sided player on that wing back in that wing back position because Mazraoui and Dalot as your options. That Fulham game, I don't know whether you have any thoughts, kind of leading back into the Palace game in terms of like, I don't know, maybe something that surprised me with Amorim as well was like I know that obviously Anthony has left now and he's not an answer either. But I kind of felt like maybe should he have maybe also tried him as like a left wing back option as well. Maybe sometimes I feel like maybe he's gone too like defensive with his options as wing backs in a lot of games where maybe I felt like he should have been braver in terms of having a more attacking options in those positions so far. Or do you just kind of see it that this is what he has? Or do you think he also could have maybe been a bit more ambitious with the place he's chosen to play in? Like Garnacho probably might not work, but again, it's like he's not working. That's like it's not working really where he is now. The way you guys are playing as a team isn't really working. Why not try him at a left wing back positioning? That kind of what's your kind of initial thoughts on that?
I think it's difficult because obviously he's coming to the side. I mean, he's managing the side, and I just think from like an options perspective, there's not many. So obviously he's watching these guys in training. Like he's probably made his own decisions as regards to, yeah, man, this guy, like, do you get me? Like whether it's like, because there's certain things like I would have liked to see, but he might have looked at it and said, whether it's right wing back,
he knows more.
whether it's right back, whether it's left back, whether it's Cam, this guy is not it, bro.
Hey, Robert.
Come and collective, bro. Come and collective. Do you get me? You don't stand the chance. But I said, he's probably looking and said, bro, no wonder these guys wanted to bring me in 90 mil for this. For this guy.
That's
you gotta be looking at it and saying, yeah, man, there's no way. I need to make it clear to if I start playing him, the board might think I want to keep him. I gotta make it clear. I gotta make it clear. Like, you lot have to take the L on this, bro. But I said, hey, this is the real I'm not Harry Potter.
No, it's true. It's true. He's only such a small. You're right. You're right.
I'm not Harry Potter.
I'm not a magician.
I don't know what you think I was gonna do. I don't know what you thought I was gonna do.
Oh,
but let
damn.
you have it right. I need my players. So if you think that I'm gonna transform this, no way, bro. I'd say Garnacho, I can work with it, but Anthony, they said nah. Yeah, man. So I think he
No
might have been
offense.
looking at things in training and just said, yeah, nah, this isn't a solution. And
Mm,
I think we desperately lack options because with the whole Rashford thing as well.
mm,
So you look at United's attacking options, yeah. So
mm,
you've got Hoyland, Xerxes, Ahmad, Rashford. Before Anthony went on loan, Anthony,
mm,
Mount, Bruno. Am I
mm.
missing anyone? I think
Attacking
that's
wise, yeah, I think that's
yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Anthony, we've spoken about him.
Mm,
So move him to the side. Mount, it's never fit.
yeah.
Can't play him. Move him to the side. Rashford, there's problems. Move him to the side. You've got Ahmad, who, that's my guy. Do you get me? Vola. Problem we've got here, which has been a big, it's been you know what it is? It's funny because, and we spoke about it before a ball was kicked,
Mm,
whereas like Ahmad, he can play wing back, and that attacking impetus that you want from the wing back position, Ahmad
mm,
brings it. Like, do
yeah.
you get me? Ahmad is on whatever fullback he's facing, he's on
Mm,
their neck. Like, do you get
mm,
me? But the problem is that in those attacking positions, like I
mm,
mentioned, it's like, well, if you're looking at who's going to play as one of the tens, Mount can't because he's always injured. Rashford can't. One, it's probably not even his best position in the system, but even let's say it's somewhere where he could play,
mm,
well, Beef, so he's not there.
mm,
Anthony, nope,
mm.
Robetis. Do you get me? Like, even like someone like a Xerxes, I think, yeah, like the preference is for him to play as the 9, but for him to drop deeper and but yeah, like I think for what Amorim wants in a 10, I don't think he wants to necessarily play Xerxes there. So then you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, there's Bruno, there's Garnacho, and there's Ahmad. Like,
Mm,
do you get me? Like, those are your options there. So I think he's got like a serious lack of attacking options. So when it comes to like moving players around, one, he might just think someone like a Garnacho, for example, just isn't capable of playing wing back. But
mm,
even if he was, then you're now
mm,
looking at those 10 positions, and let's say you were
mm,
playing Ahmad as the other wing back, then you're
mm,
literally looking at those 10 positions. You're like, oosh, like, do you get me? Like, maybe
mm,
let's say you wanted to play Ericsson there, but you don't have the legs. Like, do you get it? Like,
mm.
so it's just all, yeah, we
No, it's a
need,
knock-on effect on the
yeah,
rest of the
man,
team.
yeah,
I
it's
hear
just
it.
a knock-on effect. Like, I think that's
Mm,
part of the problem, and that's what the worry I had when people were talking about like Garnacho going and stuff. The worry I had was like, if you're not bringing anyone else in for him, then what are we going to do? Like, I'm not talking
mm,
about long term. I'm talking about now. Like,
mm,
if you've let go of, if there's problems with Rashford and you're not going to play him, if Anthony, again, even if Anthony was here, do you get me? But Anthony has gone to Real Betis.
mm,
That's that. Mount is never fit. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, well, where is he? Do you get me? Like, and so far he's not tried Kobe in one of those positions. Like, do you get me? So
mm,
I don't know if that's something that he is going to try. Like, I don't know what his plan. It's still early. He might try it. Like, do you get me? But if he's saying that, you know what, right now I don't see Kobe as someone who's going to play in one of those 10 positions, then yeah, man, there's a serious lack of options. So I think that's the problem. Like, yeah,
mm.
Manchester United, like, the recruitment and with these contracts that we've got, like, do you get me? With these wages,
Hey man,
oh
this
my, like,
I remember I've been saying
bro,
it, bro. I've been saying
bro.
it. I told you when I was seeing people doing this Rashford would be sold for 50 million. I said you're
bro,
delusional.
bro,
Casemiro go, you're delusional. Like
bro,
the contracts these guys are on,
it's the wages are
like
the main. I think the wages
it's
are the main problem. Like, it's the
like no one's
wages.
paying that. And
Yeah, like
these
the
players aren't
wages.
taking pay cuts either. Those, I was like, I think Casemiro said, "Oh, bro, if you, Amorim I'm not his number one choice." Okay, I had a good career. I think I'm gonna 350 bags a week. You're not gonna get that anywhere else. Okay,
Damn.
a couple more years. couple more years in that goal. Like it's sometimes you can't. This you guys have really handcuffed yourselves with these contracts with these players. That's why I feel like the club, like
and I think
the sins of the
Chelsea,
past. Yeah.
Chelsea had that moment where they were getting rid of loads of players, but they were able to like get a lot of players to Saudi.
Yeah.
Like, do you get me? And I think that was kind of bailing them out, like of a lot of the trouble that they were in. So yeah, I think Man United currently, we've just got problems as regards.
And Saudi said we don't want these pensioners no more. We're trying to get Duran. Listen, we're trying to get Duran now. We're trying to get Casemiro. We want Duran.
We want the young G's,
bro. No one's watching our league for Casemiro no more, bro.
We want the young G's.
Yeah. So that door looks like it's closed. But
man. We've just got a lot of like transfer wise, we've got a lot of problems. But just to wrap it up, I don't know if you want to give your thoughts quickly on the transfers as well. But I think Dorgu, I'm happy we've got a wing back. Again, I don't know a crazy amount about him, but from what I've seen and like from the things that I've read and heard, I think that like attacking wise, he hopefully will help us out as regards to adding another dimension and like providing our attackers with more support, and hopefully we can be more dynamic. And I remember during the in the review of the United Liverpool game, like I spoke a lot about wing backs and how important it is to this Amorim system. So it's definitely a priority position, but he also is young, so I think we also need to like, he's young and he's coming from a different league, like do you get me? And it's like, so also I think that's the thing where it's just like we've not signed like a 27-year-old at the peak of their powers, like so we obviously we're expecting a certain level of performance, but we've also got to like allow him to, do you get me? Because I know my fan base, man. Sometimes, like, do you get me?
Fan bases are similar.
Where used to a certain, do you get me, fam? A lot of United fans, like, bro, again, we grew up on a certain standard. So, do you get it? Like, man. So, like I think we got to give him time, but I'm happy we signed a wing back, and then we'll see what happens for the rest of the window. But regarding the Palace game, I'm a little bit worried. I lied. I'm not. I wouldn't say extremely worried. I think that's a bit too far. I'm worried. Confirmed. I think that's a good balance. I'm worried. I'm worried. Confirmed with a worry. Like I am worried. Like, do you get me? Like I'm not confident. Because I just think. I think one, like. Palace have had like, I know obviously their last result against Brentford, but they have had like an upturn. So that's one where I'm looking at Palace and I'm looking at their players. I'm thinking of Eze, I'm thinking of Mateta, and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? They're definitely capable of like hurting you. But then also Manchester United at Old Trafford, like we've not been able to. Like it seems almost like, don't get me wrong, we've not been great regardless, but it seems like at Old Trafford, like we've just like the nerves, like do you get me? Like that Southampton performance again, it took Ahmad. Do you get me?
So funny, it's like the way everyone else has dispatched them since that game. It's like, this is the same Southampton that were pressuring United for a big part of that game. It's crazy.
Got us out of Ahmad got us out of trouble, man. Like literally, and. I think literally, like sometimes, like when you're looking at it and you're thinking, "Damn, man!" Like, our attack, like, do you get me? We know Bruno's capable of producing moments of quality, and then obviously Ahmad's there. Like, do you get me? Who, man, that's my guy. Said it. Do you get me? And if there's one of the good things that's come out of this season is that I'm happy that my boys finally got chances, because I was screaming free Ahmad till they freed him.
Bro,
like, do you get me?
Yeah, that was one of Ten Hag's crimes.
Bro, even before
last year,
from last year, fam, I've been talking about this guy for time, bro. Like, do you get me? Even pre-season, I thought Ten Hag was finally gonna give him a chance, and nope. He said, nope, we're still not playing him. Do you get me? And I think it was so frustrating because I was just like, bro, sometimes you can look at a player and just look at the fundamentals. Like, do you get me? And I know there's so much. Everyone online thinks they're tactical. Like, do you get me? Everyone thinks they. But honestly, like, using all these buzzwords and what? No, but honestly, just look at the fundamentals. Like, do you get me? Just sometimes just look at the fundamentals, and you can see, bruv, the technical floor of this player is high. Like, do you get me? It's just, bro. And I'm watching what's going on at United, and I'm like, and bro, even when you surround technical players around technical players, that's one thing I was annoyed about the Fulham game, bro. When they disallowed that Ahmad goal, it was just offside. But if you saw how him and Kobe linked, you see when high IQ meets high IQ,
it multiplies.
When high IQ meets high IQ. That's why I want Kobe further forward, because when high IQ meets high IQ, brilliant things happen, man. And that's why I've always said it, where it's like, bro, I had this debate, and now people are turning around and saying, oh, you know what, bro, I think you were right. Well, I remember saying, I was like, bro, Xerxes is a technically better footballer than Højlund. I said it from the beginning, bro. And people weren't trying to take me in. And I was saying it, bro. I was like, they were like, oh, nah, bro, he's slow. He's this. I said, bro, Xerxes is a technically better footballer than Højlund, bro. Like, and I think Højlund, again, man, I really hope that he could turn it around. I want him to turn it around. But some of his, like, the basics, bro, it's so poor. Like, do you get me? And he is young, and he does have time to improve. But again, when you're looking at some of these fundamentals, man, you're thinking, bro, like, come on, man. Like, do you get me? And I think Xerxes, like, I think that, again, I think he's one of them players where it's like, cool, yeah. If you surround him by good footballers as well, he's someone, he can flow with it. Like, do you get me? Like, he can flow with it. And I think, man, United need to sign players who obviously have a high technical floor, but also, like, they've got the other parts of their game. Like, do you get me? Where and you know, even I was seeing a little bit of discourse with Ahmad, and some people say, hey man, he's getting a little bit greedy. Like, do you get me? Like, he's trying to cut in and shoot a bit. I said, bro, let him cut in and shoot, bro. Like, do you get me? Because honestly speaking, I said it before. He's so unselfish, and he likes to make the right decisions. And I think sometimes with players like that, you've kind of got to allow them to build their confidence up a little bit, like build up their swagger, build up their ego. Like, do you get me? Where it's just like, you know what? Like, nah, take on the shot a bit more, bro. Like, you've got the quality, fam. Like, do you get me? Sometimes it's like raise your game. Like, do you get me? Challenge yourself, but then also we trust you that once you've done that, like, you will know what to do with your powers. Like, do you get me? Like, you will know when to pass. You will know, you get me? Like, it's one of them ones. Like, so I think it's a thing where, like, we've got a lot of work to do, bro. A lot of work to do. And I think this season has been one of them ones where it's like, man, it's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of suffering. But me, I'm here for the rebuild, man. Like, do you get me?
I hear it, man. I hear it.
You know, when people are asking, are you guys ready for a rebuild? Like, are you ready to see your team bottom half?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Because this has always been the talk. Like,
bro. Some people already having shaky legs, saying, "Oh, he needs to go to back four."
Yeah,
he needs
bro.
to go to back four. I said, bro, you're not really committed, are you?
Everyone was talking. I'm just like, and I've said it, bro. Like, since Fergie retired, bro, like, we finished second, we finished top 4, we've won trophies, like, we've done. So if we're talking about the league, if we're talking about the Champions League, then it needs to be ripped up and built back up again. Like, do you get me? If we're talking about making top 4 here or there, if we're talking about picking up trophies, then we don't need to rip it up. Like, we can do that. Like, do you get me? If you're talking about serious winning the big, bro, rip it up. Rip it up, start again. So this is the process of ripping it up. Like, do you get me? And I think it's one of them ones where it's just like, people aren't happy with it. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you drop all of your expectations. It doesn't mean that you now look at things and say, oh, you know what, like, whatever can happen. Like, we're in the Europa League. this season. I would love to win the Europa League, bro. We're in
Mm.
the FA Cup. I would love to win the FA Cup. Like, I'm not looking at things and saying, oh, you know what? Hey, man, I just want us to finish. I want us to finish 17th, so it's as bad as possible without us getting relegated. Do you get me? Just so people can see how bad it is. Do you get me? And then afterwards we can really start from like, of course, like, yeah, I want to see us get wins on the board. I want to see us win trophies. But also, bro, when we're talking about rebuilding, a serious rebuild, fam, we've been asking for it. We've been asking for a manager that's decisive. We've been asking for a manager to try to implement his system, his style of play. We've been asking for a manager that's not out here trying to do up cuddle with all the players. We've been asking for a manager who's honest and doesn't gaslight us. And then you get it. You get me? And now people are like, oh, hey, man. Amorim's a bit harsh. Do you get me? Like, do you get me? And let me say this: I don't agree with everything that he's done. Like, do you get me? I'm not talking about like little things. Like, I'm talking about the overall bigger picture. Like, do you get me? I think that's the thing. Like, so for example, like, I hated what happened to Xerxes, like in the Newcastle game, and I think Amorim made a mistake with his starting lineup with that Casemiro, Ericsson like thing. So I think like he made a mistake from the beginning, and then in the process of trying to rectify it, the Xerxes thing happened, and I think he has to take his share of responsibility of like how, like, do you get me? Everything played out as regards to him being forced to make a change because he never picked the correct starting lineup and stuff like that. So, and I'm not saying that, oh, you know what, if there's anything that Amorim does that you have to agree with everything Amorim does, or you can't be critical of certain decisions Amorim has made. Of course you can. I think it's just a thing where it's just like overall, when you're looking at things holistically, you've got to look at it and say, all right, cool, we wanted a rebuild. We got to allow man to build. We've got to be patient. So yeah, bro. For this game, it's hopium. Like, yeah, it's hopium. I'm hoping that we can build. I'm scared with United because it's like whenever it feels like we're building a little bit of momentum, then boom. Like, do you get me? So, yeah, man. I'm hoping that we can do something.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Okay, yeah. And yeah, overall, like, I definitely agree with everything that you're saying, man, about United. And yeah, and I think you're right to be concerned about this one because I feel like because I remember us actually speaking about the ahead of the Fulham game, and I know you're concerned about that one. But in hindsight, I feel like I'm starting to get a better picture of United as well now, where you guys have that natural ability where, like, you still do have a transitional team, and again, you know that you said this, and these are everything that you've said to me, and I think I'm bringing it full circle now. Why I think this is a very concerning game is that you still have a transitional team, so that's why you do better against the team that you're expected to lose against. You surprise them. The teams that you're meant to dominate, that's when the problem kind of starts in terms of breaking teams down, being on the ball, having technical players that can move it around, create chances. That's where the problem kind of starts with United. And I feel like going into the Fulham game, it was like Fulham were actually more of the dominant, confident team that was like, cool, now trying to like make their chances, score their goals. And it was still a very poor game of football. But like, I feel like Fulham are a very different proposition to what Palace are going to give you. Because from playing Palace recently as well, I think Palace are the team where they're going to say, okay, you know what? We're going to let you have the ball. Then now we're going to now try and hit you on the counter. You guys are going to have to come out. And I think that's where United always struggle. And that's where, like, I think the real problems start really showing. And I feel like that's why, in this game, I feel like it's definitely, I think Palace are one of the teams that, it's like, I think I put them like Palace, Forest, Brentford. They're not a caliber of team. Like the way they play is like, we don't mind not really having the ball, but they have a big enough threat on the other, going the other way, that if you're not also solid defensively, then they can punish you. So, yeah, I think that's why it definitely would be a tight game. It could be a 2-1 United, but I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 because I think, again, it won't be shocking if Palace get something from this game because, yeah, the likes of the Eze's, my brain's gone blank now. Striker.
Mateta.
Mateta. with what understand if Fulham too, if Maniz and Jimenez weren't producing rubbish in that Fulham game as well, man, they definitely should have at least got a goal between them. So I feel like the chances United give up as well, I think the test is going to be a real concern for your defense. But I think overall, I'm going for a 1-1, and then we'll see kind of where it goes from there. But yeah, I think it definitely will be a tough game. Like, and it can definitely go either way. Like, it's definitely those margin ones. But yeah, I guess we'll see which way that one goes. And then, bro, I think the game of the weekend, man. This is the game I'm probably the most excited to kind of watch. And Bournemouth, they've already dealt with every other team in that top four right now. They've dealt with. Now Liverpool going there. Even recently they lost their striker and they just started saying, okay, like, so we lost our striker, it don't matter us. Now everyone is gonna just start moving crazy with it. And now they've smacked up Newcastle, smacked up Forest, and now Liverpool are going there at a time when I'm sure Liverpool don't want to be going there, man. Like, it's if we weren't playing City ourselves, this is definitely the kind of game I'm saying, this is potential, and it's time we get some points on them. But yeah, me and my team, we need to focus on ourselves and win our own game in front of us. But yeah, what are your thoughts in this Bournemouth Liverpool game?
Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a good game because Bournemouth, they're not only a very good team, but they're a team that like to play football. So yeah, and I highly rate their manager as well. So yeah, man, like I think we saw what they did to Newcastle and we saw what they did to Forest, which is crazy because that Forest defense is not a joke. So for you to just dispatch them like that, yeah, very disrespectful. And then again, forget, bro, it's also a thing of just even generally. I'm gonna put a very quick needle in this, but I think when people talk about the Premier League and it's like, oh, you know what, like the quality of some of the teams which were traditionally low in the table, they've gone up. I think when you look at Bournemouth, when you look at Forest, like I think they're examples of this, and like I think to put into context, like obviously we seen what Forest were doing, and then we saw, bro, were you seeing in the January transfer window, you were seeing them saying what Cunha?
Yeah.
Hey man,
Wissa?
what Wissa? Like what?
Talk to
I said, we're not playing games. What do you think this is? Like, do you get me? And I think, like it shows what Forest think of themselves and how far they can go. And it shows like, how like, just the levels of the Premier League have increased where, like a team like Forest, they've been able to elevate themselves to a position in the table where they actually feel like, this actually could happen. Whereas like, oh yeah, a player could actually want to join us of that quality. And I think, again, you see that and then you see what Bournemouth did to them. And I think it just shows like, man, the quality of certain teams like in the Premier League have definitely risen. And I think what Bournemouth have done this season has been brilliant. Like they've been balling. I think they've got a manager who man is doing the business, and this is a very, very tough game for Liverpool. Extremely tough game. Obviously it would help. I think it will help with Slot being able to rest a lot of their players. I think, especially someone like a Gravenberch, I think he needed the rest. I think, like obviously it's good that they've been able to rest Salah, etc. So I think, they're gonna know how important this game is, and Liverpool, they've definitely got the weapons to hurt Bournemouth, but also Bournemouth at the same time, they've got the weapons to hurt Liverpool. Like you've got to put respect to their names, man. Again, when you're seeing what they did to Newcastle, again, that Newcastle defense, they had been performing well, bro. Like, do you get me? So and then the Forest defense as well. So, like, you've got to put respect on their names. So, looks like a very good game.
Yeah, no, it should be very high intensity as well. Seeing how both teams play, so it should be very entertaining.
I'll be disappointed if we've hyped it up like this and it's a 0-0.
And it's a 0. Nah, man, it can't be. It can't be. Nah, both teams are too good going forward for it to be that right now anyway. But I think there'll definitely be goals in this game, which is why my prediction for this one, I'm going for 2-2. I'm going for 2-2. I think, yeah, Liverpool defensively as well. I think Bournemouth can definitely hurt them. But obviously, Liverpool, so they still have very high quality players themselves. Like the Salah, like you said, I think Gakpo played today, but again, I think he's been in quite good form recently. Like he's like been doing really well. Obviously, Diaz. So yeah, no, I think it should definitely be a good game. There should definitely be goals in this. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-2 because I think Liverpool will do well to go there and get all 3 points. Because like I said, man, Arsenal went there, got dealt with. City got dealt with. So who else is there? Forest. So we saw what they did to Forest. So yeah, no, like they're a real proposition right now, man.
Yeah, they've done, bro.
Like,
Came to Old Trafford, gave us 3, beat Spurs. Like,
like,
yeah, man, they've been
like.
rocking teams. Yeah.
What I think what they haven't lost in 12 games. Like they're ridiculous. Their run of form right now ridiculous. So, yeah,
I didn't even know it was that long.
yeah, it's 12 games they haven't lost. Like it's crazy that the run that they're on right now. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. But again, man, Liverpool, this is a title winning kind of game. They go there. Like I said, the Arsenal City game, very concerning from Arsenal point of view. We go drop points there. Liverpool go beat Bournemouth. I think that's when it's completely done. From that point on, completely done. So yeah, I'm sure they don't need any more motivation to also go and get the win in that game. But we'll see whether they can actually get over the line. But yeah, how do you see this one going anyway?
Bro, and it's for that reason, man. Unfortunately, it hurts. It hurts to say this, but I'm going 3-2 Liverpool, man. Like, I think they're just gonna have enough just to get over the line, man. Like, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is a draw. I wouldn't even be surprised at all if Bournemouth win. It's one of them games where it's like whatever the result, I wouldn't really be surprised. But yeah, I think Liverpool will edge it. So yeah, I'll go 3-2 Liverpool.
Okay. We will see how that one goes. That should be an interesting match. And then yeah, bro, I think this next team that we have to talk about, I don't know what it is when it comes to transfer windows. It's like it's like they'll be good throughout the season. A January window come, a summer window come, and then I think that's when we just see the owners again, and we just see what is your motivation here? Like, what are you guys trying to achieve when you guys bought this club? Like, it's like you see crazy signings that over 100 million for Enzo Fernandez, over 100 million for Caicedo. You say, whoa, this is a serious ownership. They mean business. And then you see, oh, you need a striker. We're not gonna do that. Oh, Sanchez is an absolute bum. Nah, man, we're gonna give him a chance. Let him ride it out. Center defense needs help. Nah, man. Nah. Chalaba, I know we kicked you out. We told you go train with the reserves. Sent you over to Palace. Come back, brother. Come back and start in our defense. And it's like Chelsea. I don't know what's happened to them, man. Like I alluded to earlier, like they were in such good form, like kind of like earlier on, like I guess around that like November, October time, they really hit good form, and then just December leading into this January, like it's just been up and down. That City game. That's why I said I don't know how much credit to give City. I think City did well. They looked better than they have recently. But I was watching that game thinking Chelsea as well. Like it's like very early on, if it's like they got the goal, they missed that chance to go 2-0 up, and then it's like they just were just happy to be there. Like it's like there was no like ambition or motivation. Like this is City are gettable right now. We can go and make a statement. Like they really could have, if they were serious, dealt with City in that game based on the chances they had earlier on. They had the City young centre back looking stressed, yellow card in 5 minutes, mistaken 5 minutes. Instead of pressing him, they said, "Nah, man, we're gonna be good Samaritans and then be kind to you." So Jackson's patting him on the back, saying, "Nah, it's all right, brother. You can do this." Like, I don't get what's happening with Chelsea, man. But yeah, what are your thoughts? And then obviously they play West Ham on Monday. West Ham, I haven't actually watched much of Potter's West Ham, but it wasn't an appointment that I was like, cool, this should be very interesting because of the players that they have. And I do think he's a good manager. But I don't know whether you've caught any like much of his matches so far and like how you kind of see this Chelsea game going, whether you think Chelsea can bounce back, this is a win, or you think, yeah, this might be a tough one for them based on how West Ham are performing. But yeah, what do you think, bro?
I think Chelsea, they're rocking, man. Like, yeah, they are rocking. I think we spoke about it before the season started, and I think it's one of them ones where, yeah, recruitment wise, I don't know why they just haven't got another striker. Yeah, like, and even if it's not a thing where it's like you might not look at it and say, oh, you know, you might believe in Jackson, the manager might believe in Jackson, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, but then why not get someone else who can offer competition? Because I think one of the big problems you've got is that in Cuckoo isn't a 9.
Yeah,
So
he's not.
yeah, so it's like that's a problem that you've got. So yeah, man. And then you're seeing now that what João Felix, I think he's even being linked with
What's
Villa.
going on? Even that,
So it's like,
remember that we
yeah,
were so critical of that move, so because how little sense it made, and even
so
in hindsight now, it's like this is where I also feel like, is there something going on behind? Like, is there something in his contract and he plays extra? Because it doesn't make sense how little they've also used him as well. Because even when he has played, he's done well, but they don't want to actually play him. I don't get it. I don't get it with Chelsea. Like, it's like they feel that there's so much going on, even aside from the football. Sanchez has been terrible. Why would you not go and Jorgensen is clearly not the caliber of keeper you also need to push on? Why is Maresca coming out and saying, yeah, we were second a couple of weeks ago, but now, yeah, it's okay if I don't get top 4 this season? Like, why? It's like it doesn't make sense.
so I
Like,
was the Chelsea fans fuming with them
like,
comments.
bro, what he's. But
I was
we
seeing
spoke
them
about this
fuming
though.
with
It's
the
easy.
comments.
It's easy talking when you're winning and everything is great. When you start losing, and there's the same words that people were like encouraging to say, brother, like, what are you talking about? Like, that's life. That's really life.
I'm seeing Chelsea fans that like, hey man, I know we were saying we're not in the title race, man, and you know what? We can hear that because it was too early for us. But no, we're taking it too far now, bro.
Bro,
Like,
a
do you get me?
billion
Like,
pounds
we need
plus
to.
spent
We're
talking
taking it too
about
far. Like, do you get me?
top 4 is
I
not the
think
target this
because I
year.
think a lot of them thought, yeah, you know what, top 4 were good for it, and now it's like not saying that they won't get it, but yeah, like it's a battle. Like, do you get me? It's a battle when you look at the table and you look at how tight things are. So, yeah, man, I think Chelsea, yeah, I think they need to, obviously, Sanchez, they need an improvement there. They do need another striker as well. I think even when you're talking about like those positions, you know, like in Cuckoo, Felix, I think obviously Palmer's Palmer, and he's gonna start. And obviously, I think the position that Maresca loves to play him in obviously is like in the 10, and obviously, yeah, like I think Palmer would say also that I think he would probably say that's his best position as well, and I think a lot of people agree that's his best position. But I think the problem that Chelsea have is that I think a lot of those kind of like attackers like to operate centrally, like, so I think they like to occupy similar spaces on the football pitch. So I think they've kind of got a lot of options who are trying to operate in similar areas, and the options that they need more depth in, i.e. 9, they don't have the options there. So it's kind of like, yeah. And I think, yeah, they just need to, overall, again, they've got a good team, but I think they just need to, you know, when it's a thing where it's like, cool, you've built a squad, you've been building a team, there's clearly some weaknesses here, you need to address them. I think it's one of them ones where it's like, yeah, like come the summer, they need to address them. Like, do you get me? And I think if they do, then things will look better for them. But as of now, yeah, it'll be interesting because obviously West Ham, like we've spoken about them a lot this season. Obviously, they do have some good players. They've not been great, but obviously with the new manager now as well, like will be interesting. I think, yeah, a point at Villa Park is definitely not a bad point. So off the back of that, I think they should have at least a decent amount of confidence. It's a difficult one. I'm gonna go with Chelsea. I think I'm gonna go 2-1 Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say they'll edge it.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. That's what I had down as well. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea as well. I think, yeah, this is a game that they should bounce back in. Like, they do have quality. It's just Jackson. Like, I feel like the mistake they've had recently is that they go 1-0 ahead, and it's what did them against City as well. Going 1-0 ahead and then not being clinical, having the quality to get that second goal to kill off games, and then missing chances, and then the defense is not solid enough, and then Sanchez is not good enough. And that's just been the story of Chelsea's matches for the last 2-3 months now. Like it's or 2 months, I would say. So yeah, it's a very clear cycle, and you'd think that this window now. I remember in the summer, the whole talk when they were linked to Osimhen right at the end was, oh, we're gonna see how Jackson does this start of the season, and if it's not looking, we'll come back in or we'll get a striker. But that's just all disappeared now. That's why I feel like with Chelsea, there's something else going on there that just doesn't make sense. And the squad building, like you said, just doesn't make sense. But again, this is stuff that we've spoken about. We spoke about it a lot in the summer, and then they had really good form, and we're like, you know what, okay, cool. But then now the form has come back. It's like, yeah, everything that we spoke about is now rearing its head again. Where it's like the signings that just did, you invested that money into Felix when you could have got a striker. Invest that money into, again, like it's like they invested money in positions that it just didn't make sense like at the time, and even over time now that we're here, it still doesn't make sense. So yeah, we'll see what happens with them, man. See them being heavily linked with Garnacho. I said, what's going on? Like, how all the wingers that you guys already have in your team, why is Garnacho gonna again go get a striker? But Garnacho's the guy. I don't get the recruitment with Chelsea. It's so confusing, bro. It's actually so confusing. But yeah, let's see whether they can bounce back against West Ham, and then we'll see how they kind of go on from here. But then yeah, the other 3 fixtures I want to just quickly fly by, bro, just to kind of give our predictions, and we can kind of touch on a little bit if anything comes to mind. What next fixture? Brentford versus Spurs, because yeah, Spurs, man. No, my rivals, man, they've been really going through it. I couldn't believe it. I was out. I looked at my phone. I said, what? 2-1 Leicester? I said, it cannot be. It cannot be. It cannot be. So, yeah, they are really, really going through it right now, man. Like, honestly, I don't know whether you want to say anything about it, but yeah. I didn't watch it. I saw the reaction. I said, wow, this is crazy.
All I'll quickly say is that Daniel Levy, ownership, yep, I hear it. I hear it. Injuries, I hear it, and I'm being genuine, by the way. Like, I fully hear it. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I fully hear it. Like, the circumstances are difficult right now. But remember when we were talking about Spurs this season, and I was like, "Hey, man, I hear all of it, but still, man, this is bad.
Yeah,
this is bad. Like, do you get me? And I'm talking from a perspective of a fan where I know what bad is. Like, do you get me? I've seen bad with my own team, bro. So do you get me? Like, I feel like I've got good experience at seeing bad. Do you get me? And I'm looking at it, I was like, hey, man, yeah, man, you guys are in trouble. Like, do you get me? You guys are in trouble, because when this United team are 5 points ahead of you in the table, hey, man, guys are in trouble. Hey,
it's crazy, and bro, I know with that being said, I think they're in more trouble this weekend because Brentford having they have the Embuemo whistle that we're talking about. They have the damn squad. Oh my goodness, they have the tools.
Man are celebrating before a penalty's been scored, bro. Do you see that? Do you see that with Wissa? When Ibrahimo missed his penalty first, but there was because I think it was Gay. He'd come into the box before he took the penalty. So then the ref said, yeah, got to take it again. So then obviously before Ibrahimo kicks a ball, Wissa's already got his hands up running to celebrate, bro. That's the confidence.
The belief. He said, he's not gonna miss again.
He said it's impossible.
He's not gonna miss
again. I know my guy. He said, I know my guy. Do you get me? So yeah, man, I think it's not looking great for Spurs, man. I think just very quickly, these cups, that tie at Anfield, like, yeah, I think, yeah, they're gonna be really, really, really big for Spurs and Ange. But yeah, man. And again, like I was saying, I'm being fully genuine when it's like, no, I weren't mocking it. Like, genuinely, I think the injuries they've had it is bad. Like, do you get me? And I know there's loads of off the pitch stuff as regards to the ownership and stuff as well. But I think, yeah, like, it's still not great, man. Like, even with all of that taken into account, like, this is still bad. Like, do you get me? And I think with United, obviously, like, we made the decision. Like, do you get me? So it's like, I think that's the thing where it's like, I think a lot of Spurs fans, because they've had Ange, they're now looking at it and just like, hey, man, is this really the guy to take us forward? Whereas obviously United, we he came into the season with Ten Hag. We were absolutely horrible, and then he got
Mm,
sacked. So that we already knew we were horrible. So we're like, yeah, this is gonna be a long-term fix. So like, do you
mm,
get me? A lot of United fans, we're ready for this. We're like, all right, yeah, we've made the change. Cool. Like, do you get me?
mm,
We know we've got to rebuild a lot of stuff, etc. Whereas I think obviously Ange's been at Spurs for longer, and I think
mm.
certain Spurs fans, they're looking at it and thinking, I don't know if he's the guy to take us forward,
Yeah,
even with everything that's been going on. So
yeah.
yeah, with Spurs, it's not looking great, man. Honestly,
Mm-mm.
it's not
But
looking
yeah, but like you said too, man, the ownership is just Again, it must
yeah,
be it's
bad,
demoralizing, isn't it? Because regardless
bad,
of Ange, just like
bad,
Ange or no Ange, for them to go through this
bad.
whole window, all the injuries they have, for them not to actually be seriously getting players off the back of the summer they had as well, getting loads of young players, no players for the actual starting 11.
Bad, bro.
It's just an absolute mess, man. So yeah,
Bad.
and I think this game against Brentford is it's not a good game for them because again, team that's defensively solid and have enough of a threat to break down the defense, whatever defense Spurs can put together in that game. It's not a good recipe, man. Like on the back of their form as well. So yeah, going into predictions, I'm going for 2-1 Brentford in this one. Like yeah, I don't see Spurs doing anything. But yeah, what's your prediction for this game, bro?
Spurs home or away?
They're away.
Oh yeah, Brentford. Am I even gonna say? I don't even know if it made that much of a difference, to be fair, right now. But like, that's not even a vial. Like honestly speaking, again,
Nah,
I'm
the
speaking.
Leicester I couldn't believe it, man.
I'm speaking. Oh, also
I couldn't
Vardy,
believe
man.
it.
Vardy,
And
the
he's
house
the guy,
theory,
bro. He's
the house theory. Hey, man,
he's
Vardy. Let
elite.
me just sorry, very quickly, man.
Mm,
Jamie Vardy, he is a certified legend. Yeah, his
mm,
story is just crazy. Like every single time I think about it, I'm just like, bro, this guy has a Hollywood script. Like you're
mm,
talking about someone who started off in non-league, worked his way up, got himself to Leicester, got
mm,
promoted, survived relegation,
mm,
won the Premier League, played in the Champions League, won the FA Cup, went to the World Cup, played
mm.
for his country, won the Golden Boot, got relegated, helped them get back up to the Premier League. And at this age, he's still scoring goals. And the fact that he can look at those Spurs fans and point to the Premier League badge and say, I've got one, you've got none, bro. Who can chat to him? Like
Nah.
who can chat to a guy saying, I've got one Premier League, you've got none, and I got it with Leicester. I got it with Leicester. How do you respond to that? I got it with
Like,
Leicester. Like, do you get me? I got it with I didn't even run. Like, do you get me? I got it with Leicester, and even after I won the league, I still got an FA Cup. Like, I still bagged the FA Cup. Do you get me? I still got a golden boot with Leicester. The fact that it's with Leicester, bro, is crazy. I won a Premier League with Leicester. I won the FA Cup with Leicester. I won the golden boot with Leicester. Bro, crazy, man. And the fact that he's still doing it now, crazy. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go 2-1 Brentford as well.
okay.
For Spurs, man. Just had to shout out Vardy.
Nah, Harry, nah, he deserves it, man.
Obviously, Rude as well. That's my guy. So you
Mm.
get me. Like, obviously, we got them in the FA Cup. So when they come, yeah, Rude, we're gonna need you to calm down, please. Do you get me? But yeah, overall, yeah, man, it's nice to see him get the win.
Yeah, I hear it. And then the last couple fixtures, Newcastle, Fulham. What's your prediction for this one?
I'm gonna go 3-1 Newcastle.
Man, it's actually funny, guys. I went exactly 3-1 Newcastle, so
So
yeah, that's another one. Okay, 3-1 Newcastle.
Isak's
Yeah,
just bro. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, bro. Did you see that first touch for the goal against Southampton?
No, I actually didn't see
Oh,
the goals.
bro, if you saw the first touch, bro, oh my days, this guy is a killer, bro.
Yeah,
He's
I
an
don't,
absolute killer,
bro.
he's a killer, bro.
How we allowed the man
He's a
again?
killer, bro. And if you
Yeah.
see Tonali as well, like
Mm.
his goal in that game, bro, like, hey, man, yeah, Newcastle, credit to them. But yeah, Isak, dangerous,
Nah,
dangerous. And he's got so much swag as well.
he's
That's
just
the
the
thing
guy.
as
He's the
well.
guy, man.
He's the guy. So yeah, but yeah, very quickly. But yeah, 3-1.
No, that's fair. And then last fixture for I said let's put a relegation battle. Everton, Moyes come. They've like actually had some good results recently, beating Spurs and beating Brighton. Leicester off the back of beating Spurs, so they have that in common. So yeah, I'm thinking prediction wise, because Everton are home, I'm going 2-1 Everton in this one. Like I think,
I was I was gonna say
yeah,
the same.
2-1 Everton. Cool. Lock that in. That is our prediction. So yeah, now I think definitely the last four are the same, but we have enough different ones. I guess the other three fixtures, which are the Arsenal, City, United, Palace, and Bournemouth, Liverpool. So ahead of the next stream, we'll have the updated table, see how the points kind of.
Did you
You
go
know
for
what?
United win?
No, I went 1-1. Oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
no,
that
yes,
was
I said
different as
those.
well.
Yeah, 1-1. So yeah, that one was different. So
Oh,
the three
United,
fixtures different. Yeah,
Arsenal, Liverpool. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So those were different. You know what? Now I'm thinking actually. You know what? I might actually go. I'm gonna go 1-0 Everton.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go 1-0 Everton
Hmm.
for the Everton Leicester game. So make that one a bit different too, because I remember I'm behind. I need some more differentials. Hopefully I don't fall further behind, because that means that change. But yeah, no, but all in all, bro, I think it's been a very good stream. It should be a very good weekend of Premier League fixtures. And yeah, no, I guess we'll be back to kind of review, see how it goes. But any kind of final words from you, bro?
Hey man, obviously we've got the Europa League fixture tomorrow. So yeah, man, hopefully just secure that last eight. I mean top eight, sorry. And yeah, man, keep it moving. But hey man, trust the process. That's all I'll say.
No, that's fair. And yeah, no, anyone who like is gonna watch this later or is watching live, then yeah, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, no, looking forward to the next stream.
Oh, and obviously I have to say my stuff, bro. If you watched it
Mm.
for 1 second, 30 seconds, a minute, half an hour, the whole stream, hey man, we're grateful. We appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe, please. We thank you for anyone. We thank anyone who supported on any of the platforms that we're on. And yeah, man, like we are thankful and we're grateful for all the feedback that we've received as well. So yeah, man, hope everyone has a good week. And yeah, whether you're watching this now or you watch this later, yeah, we appreciate the support.
Appreciate it. All right, see you guys on the next one.